Good afternoon, everybody. Kathy Arbor here. A cold, cloudy winter day, so it's a good day to do some art. Hope you're all having a great day. Hey, Joan, Judy. Today we're going to be doing some mixed media painting. I got an order from Jackson's Art Supplies, and I got some granulation, so we're going to try that. So I thought I would use one of these books. I love this. So I thought we could do something like this. I'm hoping. There is a step-by-steps in the different things you can do. So we're going to follow along with one of these. Hey, Maria. Hi, everybody. Kim, Cheryl. Good to see you all. Hi, Dorothy. I do like that one too. Very simple, but it's very elegant looking, I think. So we're going to try one of these. That's a very simple one too. It's only got 5 steps. Wet into wet. There was one in here that I wanted to try. We haven't got time to do one with plastic wrap because it has to dry while the plastic wrap is on it, and that would take quite a few minutes, probably half an hour. Hey, Lori. Good to see you all. Hi, Gail. Gina. Good to see you. Stacks. Oh, that one's cool. I like that. No, well, it's a bit of collage with that one too. Cool. Let's see. Yeah, I was thinking of this one here. You could try. So it's got, wow, quite a few steps. 37 steps to it. So anyone want to play along? Doesn't look like it's going to be terribly difficult because there's it's not a whole lot of stuff you need in it. Okay, what you will need: watercolor, paints, inks, and granulation, a spray bottle, a leaf stencil, palette knife, small coins, kitchen paper. I don't know what that is, whether it's wax paper or could be wax paper. I don't know. Okay, so we have a. So how's everyone doing? Hi, Eileen. Just reading chat, see how everyone's doing. Hi, Kathy. Good to see you all. So what I got, my order from Jackson's, and look what they're doing. I don't know if it's for here or just the UK, but Jackson's having a painting prize, and they're open for submissions. So, £10,000 worth of prizes, £5 entry fee per artwork. Expert panel and judges. Deadline March 4th, 2020. It says Jackson's Painting Prize 2020 is open for submissions, accepting original two-dimensional fine artwork in any painting or drawing media. So you have to send it. So that wouldn't be good for anyone outside of the UK. But Dot and Joan and whoever else is in the UK, that would be cool. Came with my order. Cost you a fortune to send something to the UK. Are you kidding? It probably cost me like $150 just to send it. Have you got this book? Have you got Granulation? It's almost like water. It's very, very... This one is the Winsor & Newton. Just says, for maximum effect, dilute color generously with medium alone. And always work with painting horizontal. Okay, so you want it flat. You don't want to have it on an angle of any sort. Which book is it? This book is the Watercolors Unleashed. So this one is a 37-step. Oh, look, I got these dissolvable. You ever play with these? Kids love to play with these. They're made out of cornstarch, and you throw them in water and they dissolve. So I got a few paints, colors that I didn't have. So I got, I wanted to try some Holbein. So this is a Holbein quinacridone violet I got. And I love core, so I got some burnt umber, Chinese white, Viridian green, and a Holbein bright violet. Now, I heard that Holbein watercolors do not put, what's it called? Honey or there's oxgall in their paints, so it's pure, basically. I'm not sure exactly what is in them, but apparently they're a little more controllable when they don't have the oxgall or honey in it. And the pigment is supposedly brighter, is what I can't remember what site it was I was on. It was a watercolorist that uses strictly that. So I thought we could try that today. Thanks, Judy. Hey, Michelle. Hi, Kat. Good to see you all. So I thought we could play with that. Got another, this was I got on Etsy. Now it's Chinese or Korean, I'm not sure, but there's no English to it. But it has step-by-steps of how to draw and paint in watercolor. And the it's a fairly detailed pictures, so I thought this would be kind of cool to have as a reference. I got this on Etsy. And it's got all kinds of different flowers, leaves. It's mostly flowers, botany. But I thought it was pretty. Well, a few bunnies in it. So that was cool. And then I did see, I don't know if Lena's here yet. She enabled me because I had to find out if what these were like in person. So I thought, well, never go have too many journals, right? So I got one of these. Paper blanks. So it's got the little clasps. Not sure how they, oh, it just unfolds. It's got the gold or painted pages. I got a lined one. The lines are very, very, very faint. So you could use this as drawing too. But the paper is actually pretty thick. I'm surprised. And this one, I believe, has does it say? I think it was 144 pages. Some of them have 240. Some of them, yeah, it doesn't say how many pages is in it. I think it was 144. Doesn't say. But yeah, gorgeous book. You ordered a small one? Yeah. So I'm glad I got it. It's a beautiful book. I love something. I'm not necessarily one that decorates their covers. Chloe, stop. I'm going to have to take her upstairs. She's going to be a pest. But yeah, gorgeous book. Just hold on. I'll be right back. Chloe, now. 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 Yeah. Yeah, so it's a really gorgeous blue. I actually got a bunch of them. The others aren't coming yet. This one, for some reason, came really fast, but I did get some blank ones too. So I'll show you those when I get them. But yeah, so I thought we could do this today. So, hi, Shauna. Hi, Joyce. Joyce, have you tried your Inktense pencils? So we can just work on a small piece of bee paper, I think. Experiment. I think I'll put down some tape. How many did I buy? 4. This week, it was my last, yeah, actually yesterday was my last day of work. So I'm celebrating. I bought myself some books because I don't know if I can ever afford anything else after this. I'm just de-sticking this on my pants so it doesn't stick real tight. So it was really weird getting up this morning and not having a routine to go to. It's very scary but exciting because I know I want to do my art classes. So I'm going to be starting to work on those. But scary because I have to make this work, so I have some extra money. Thanks, everybody. You're great. But I think I can make a go of it because I know there's a lot of people out there that want to learn about mixed media or the different mediums on their own. Like I'm not just going to do mixed media. I'm going to do watercolor. I'm going to do pastels, acrylic painting, and then mixed media. So I'm going to put them in different categories. So if you want to take all of them, you can, or if you want to just take one type, you can. Hey, Nana. Thanks. The classes, I think I might start with Patreon, to tell you the truth, just to see how it goes. And then if I get enough people interested in that type of thing, then maybe I'll put, because right now, Teachable, I don't think has a subscription. They just have like buy a cluster of classes or per class. So if I get enough people inquiring about a particular subject for a class, then I will also open a Teachable class too. Because I know quite a few artists that's what they've done. They've started out on Patreon and then they take some of their stuff over to the Teachable website. Hey, Bond. Hey, Patty. No, you have no problem, Eileen. I will never do a gelato class. I don't own gelatos. Karen had gelatos, and I tried them at her place, and nope, could not see the point in them. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to try this. I guess I should put it this way. So we're going to be doing this here. Or should I put it the other way? Maybe I better put it the other way. It looks, I could go longer, I think. So I'm going, watercolor, let's see. I need cobalt violet. lavender, indigo, and French ultramarine and burnt umber. So let's see what I got here. I have bright violet, French ultramarine. I think I have some of that. Let's see. This one is quinacridone violet. I'm going to test these, see what the color looks like. I don't have these. And ultramarine, French ultramarine. We'll see what we got here. I know pretty sure I got them. But I can always substitute something too. Let's see. I don't have my Payne's Gray, my swatch sheet anywhere near me, so quinacridone marine, ultramarine blue. If the color is correct in the book, that might work. And what was it? Oh, this one here. Raw umber. They wanted burnt umber. I don't know if I had burnt umber. And gold. That I'm gonna take that one out just in case I know I've got other ones. Let's see what I got here. Indigo. There we go. Indigo. Blues, browns. What's this one? Queen magenta. What's this? Magenta permanent. Bright violet. There we go. Bright violet. Cobalt. Was the other one cobalt? Yes, I got them. Bright violet, cobalt violet, indigo. French ultramarine. Gotta find. I may not have that one, so I might have to improvise. Van Dyke brown might work. Oh, there's burnt umber. All right, there's the burnt umber. Persian blue. Ah, French ultramarine. Awesome. Okay, so there's the French ultramarine, bright violet, cobalt violet, burnt umber, indigo, lavender. I don't think I have lavender. Cobalt violet or bright violet. No, it wasn't bright violet. It was lavender. Lavender would be probably be let's see. Let's see what we can dream up. All right, so raw umber. Don't need those. All right, so here's our paints. I'm just short one. Not sure what violet would be. Let's see if they show it. Or lavender, I mean. Let's see. I think it's just more or less purpley color. Ultramarine, French, indigo. Kathy, how do you like the? Oh, I love them. I love them because when they go on and they dry, they don't fade as much. So what you see when they're wet, it basically stays that vibrant, which is nice. I like that. So you don't have to guess on how uh, how much they're going to fade. You basically know by when you put it on. Thanks, Judy. Vaughn, you're an expert in colors for watercolor. What would be lavender? Closeness to lavender. Doesn't give a make. I'm guessing it's kind of a bluish purple. You're welcome. I'm not a watercolor. Colors. Yeah. Try Quin Violet. Okay. Quin Violet. How about I do have Bright Violet by Holbein. Quin Violet is too purple. Okay. Oh, have you got lavender, Shauna? Test on another piece next to the other colors. Either ultramarine violet or cobalt violet is the closest. Okay. Well, the cobalt violet, they're calling for cobalt violet and lavender. So that's why I was wondering. There can't be much of a difference, I wouldn't think. Oh, really? Dot, sorry. Go back to sleep. Kathy, why don't you mix your own? You could mix the violet and the Quin Violet to see. Okay. Well, yeah, I guess. The reason why is I don't have no idea what lavender color is because it's not really showing it. I think they're mixing prepare wells of cobalt violet, lavender, and indigo. Let's see. I think it's just they're mixing them all together. From the looks of it, one's a little more purple whereas the other one's a little more on the blue side. Yeah, it's mine. I can just figure it out. It doesn't have to be identical. I'll just see what I can make up. All right, let's see. My brushes. Where did I put them all? I cleaned my desk and now I have to find where I put everything. Oh, there's one. If I was doing this, I would pick 2 purple colors and say use them. Basically what I'm going to do. Wet my brushes. Soaked. So they will work better. All right, so number 1, use a 2B pencil and ruler to draw a faint horizon line across the paper 4.5 inches down from the top. This will be the horizon line. All right. Paper, pencil. Now where did I put all my pencils? I'll use this. Well, this is going to be, okay, so we're going to put it right here. Well, let me go in a little bit so you guys can see what I'm doing. There. Ready? Ruler alert. All right, then prepare wells. Okay, I have to get my wells of so I can paint. Where did I put it? All right, so we need 2 wells of, or 3 cobalt violets. Okay, so I'm going to wet these first. See? Over a little bit. There. Okay, so we need to make some wash cobalt violet. Using a mop brush, wet the paper. Okay, well, this cobalt violet is, or not, yeah, cobalt violet is from Winsor & Newton. And lavender and indigo. Okay, and then I'm gonna mix cobalt violet with a little bit of French ultramarine blue. See what that gives me. Hopefully it's the right, well, it'll be my lavender. I don't know if it'll look like that because I have no idea what lavender looks like in the paints. What I think lavender is and what they think lavender is two different things. So we'll just see. Yeah, that's good. There. Probably doesn't show as well, but it's more of a purple. It's showing blue on the camera, but it's actually a soft purple, what I consider what lavender color looks like. Okay. So using a mop brush, wet the paper from the top down to the horizon line. Okay. There we go. Using a number 16 brush, lay in a wash of indigo across the upper half of the wet area. Indigo, okay. Upper half. There we go. Working wet into wet, add touches of cobalt violet with the size, I don't think you have to, 12 brush. Why would you have to? I'll just use the violet. Work in touches. Pick up the painting and tilt the paper a little to encourage the colors to mingle. All right. A lot of water. I'll let some run off. Okay. Lay the painting flat and use the dropper tip to draw a strip of white ink across the current sky. All right. I have some white ink here. So okay. Use a pipette to drop in granulation medium in spots across the sky. Pipette. Do I have a pipette somewhere? I know I have one. Where? Should have looked for this beforehand. Oh, there's one. I had tons of these. Where'd they all go? Oh, for Pete's sakes. I have to look in my drawer. water brushes. I may not have enough color in it right now. Well, it's doing something. Move it around, see what it does. I got too much water in here, but let's take some of it out. Just separate it. I see it. Okay, drop granulations and spots across the sky. Tip and tilt the paper a little, being careful not to let the color form drips. Then use a small 16 brush to add more indigo below the strip of white ink. Well, I don't have a strip anymore. I guess I could put more in. People, this is experimenting. This is what it's all about. I got a paper towel. So I'm going to put more ink in there because I lost my line. Apparently this granulation works with ink too. And then add more indigo. Okay, let's get a smaller brush below the line. Okay, quickly rinse the brush, remove the excess water, then use the damp brush to draw in the wet paint from around the ink in order to break up the mass of white. Huh? Not sure what they're talking about. Okay. That's what I did. Maybe I need more. Oh, there's enough in there though. A little bit. I don't want it running all over the place. Okay, drop granulation medium all over the ink using a pipette and pick up the paper and gradually tilt it in order to merge the lay it back down. Okay, that's already done. So wet the paper below and have it bleed. It does bleed a lot quicker, that's for sure. Okay. Wet all the way down to the bottom of the painting. Okay. Then load the mop brush with indigo and spread the color all across the bottom of the painting, then tease it upwards to a few places. Okay, so indigo. On the bottom. And tilt it upwards to a few places. Okay, there. Work wet into wet. Add some areas of cobalt violet at the side of the mop brush. Then pick up the same lilac and build up the lower part of the painting in the variegated washes. All right, so this. Some of the cobalt. Or the, yeah, cobalt violet. Some of the other one. Okay. Some of this up. All right. If the paper starts to dry, mist it with a spray bottle. Use the dropper to add dots of sepia ink. I don't have sepia ink. I wonder if I could use walnut ink. Would that be the same? Walnut ink. Let's try it. What's that mean? Just paper. I'm going to use some walnut ink instead. Okay. Dots of walnut ink. Cool. Really does spread in that. Okay, what does it say now? Let's see. Still working wet into wet, draw some marks upwards using the dropper of the sepia ink. Then use a pipette to drop granulation medium in the center of each of the ink drops. Use enough that the shapes start to spread up and use the tip of the pipette to draw a few of the spots out from the downward strokes. Okay. So we got some granulation. I guess it has to be wet. Looks kind of too much. I'm taking some of it out. It's too wet. I don't think you should have it stopping wet. I think mine's been too wet. And then some marks. I'm going to tilt it. All right, then change the size number 4 brush and tease some of the lines down from the ink spots. Reshape any 2 large ink drops into 2 separate ones by lifting out some excess inks from the center and redrawing it with the size 4 and sepia ink. All right, so if I got too much, take some out. Of the center. Okay. Number 16. Still working wet into wet, draw out the bottom parts of each large ink spot using a number 4 brush and stroke with curved upwards to form teasels. Oh, so this is what they want. See these marks here? All right, so don't know how this is going to look, but it's how you learn. I think mine's kind of big, but Oh well. Okay, using your dropper, add some more strokes of sepia ink, pulling them upward from the bottom of the painting. Add more granulation medium with the pipette to encourage these new marks to break up a little. So I guess it's okay, more sepia ink. And granulate again. To break it up. All right. Take your brush. I think I got too much going on here. But we'll improvise. See what happens. I'm going to take some of this out because it's getting too muddy looking. And then maybe I'll curve some. All right, let's see. What else? Now time to add additional plants. Make a dark mix of French ultramarine blue and burnt umber and use it with a number 2 brush to add central spot, drawing from fine lines with the same mix in towards the center of the spot. Quickly soften them away with a little water. Okay, so we want to make these things here. This looks kind of blotchy. I don't like it. So sepia and ultramarine blue. Or no, what was it? French ultramarine blue and burnt umber. There's burnt umber. And ultramarine blue. So it's basically a dark gray. So I guess I will put that. It's got a smaller brush. Let's try a smaller brush. Let's put one here. See, it's so wet though. I don't like that. It almost has to be dried, I think. I think mine was too wet. I can see how it separates stuff, but I think mine, it was just way too wet. Hi, Carla. Okay. I'm improvising, guys. So if it doesn't go right while I'm doing it, I improvise. It's just how I work. Okay, so yeah, that's better. It's too wet. This part is just the other ones, and they don't need to be wet. Yeah, so it's a little easier to put in a line. I guess we can put one down here because yeah, it was way too wet. Okay, and then I can put all right, now add a little granulation medium to the seed pods using the pipette when allow, then allow, oh, I missed the spot. Add some seed pods on the ends of the fine lines with a number 4 brush. Rinse the brush and use the damp tip to soften and blend them. So the same thing of burnt umber, ultramarine, and you just add some pods. So you're not going to really see a lot of granulation in this one because mine was too wet. So I guess the trick with this kind of painting is to make sure your paper isn't sopping wet. It can be shiny but not dripping wet. Then it doesn't work. But this is all in how you learn. Okay, then you take granulation to those seed pods for some reason. Let's see, it does. And you're supposed to let them dry on their own. So it's interesting. This stuff does work. I see a lot of granulation being done. So we're supposed to let that dry. So let's see what else. Then we have to take a stencil. We have to let that dry a bit. I think a very hard way of, it's a happy medium you have to find with the wetness. This is all testing. I've never used granulation before. It's interesting. It does, you can see it separating. Hey, Cheryl. Thanks. I'm not too sure about it myself, but it's how you learn. Oh, Eileen, really? Okay, I'll lift it up and I'll show you. You see how it's, especially, you can see some there, from over here, how it's separated, granulation there. It's neat. Probably would have been better if I hadn't had so much water on it. Let's define some of this stuff. Yeah, because those just look like blobs. Could. Now that it's dry. See, it's hard getting a nice line when it's really wet. And from the picture here, it shows these a lot more defined, I guess you could say. Same with these, what do you call them? Can't think of the name of them. It's like a thistle of some sort. So I'm just defining them a little bit so you know what they are. Gonna need Yeah, you just can't tell what these things are, so just improvise. And that's how you learn how to do stuff, to save, especially in mixed media. That's how you learn new techniques, by improvising. So don't say it's ruined. Try something. You never know what you're going to get. See what else we do. See, I could add some more purple. I kind of lost some of that purple in it, in the okay, so let's see what else we do here. 29. Add some more cow parsley heads nearby in the same way. So just stems. Using a spray ball, wet an area on top. Then use the rigger to draw white ink into the area and lighten. Add some dots and touches of wet ink on the lines to represent. Okay, so this here, they've wet the area and then added white ink to make, it's kind of like, looks like background. Let's try that. Got a mess here. God, you may as well try it. Got nothing to lose now. So spray an area. Okay, let's spray right here. And maybe one there. Take your ink. This is not looking the best, but I'm going to continue because I want to see what happens. So I don't want a lot of, I'm just putting it over top of this area because it's not looking too good. I want to see what happens to it. I guess you have to really experiment with this stuff. Wow. I like the white ink, but not fussy with the real wet. It's very hard to control. I must say. Little seed heads. Queen Anne's lace or whatever they said it was. Yeah. So at this point, I'm not trying to choose a picture. I'm just seeing what the stuff does. So you can see the granulation still reacts. Look. See how it's separating? So it does still work when you spray on it. But yeah, I should have had a bigger paper maybe. And then they did a whole bunch of stenciling and whatnot. See, I should have used a bigger paper. So this one was interesting to see what the ink did. I'm not upset about seeing how it worked, but yeah, you got to really watch how much wet you put on. So let's dry it. And then try another one. Yeah, I like granulation paint, Shauna. I just thought it would be neat to see what this stuff actually did. Yeah, it really obliterates it. I think I have too much granulation on it. You really have to experiment, that's for sure. I like the granulation look of it. It's super hard to control, that's for sure. I think what I'm going to do is just do like one seed head to see how, because I want to be able to see what it is. Yeah. See how it disappeared? So you'd have to go back in with ink. It's different. I'm not sure if I like it or not. Let's see what else we can try. Maybe I should just play with the ink. Let's see what. I can do with it. Not like the uncontrollable nature of it. That's the thing I don't like about it. It'd be good for large areas, like for the rocks and stuff like that. But I don't know. What we can find to do. See, this is all a lot of granulation in there. Let's try a birch tree. Do the background, but I'm gonna mask out the birch tree. See what happens. I'm gonna cut. We'll make the other one. It's kind of fat. It's down. Burnish down. I don't want to bleed. All right. Then we'll take some blues and greens. See what we can do. I think I bought a couple greens. Blue. And let's get some green. Where's my other thing? So yellows, and so I'm going to wet my paper. And we're going to put, I'll wet my greens, yellows. bunch of greens here. Maybe some blue. Right, then I'm going to put some granulation over top and see what happens. There. And we're just going to let it do its thing. Yeah, I could put salt on it. I don't know if I have any down here. Let me look. I don't see any. Moving right upstairs. Alright, let's see what it does. Now, putting salt on it, when it's real wet, it doesn't do a whole lot. So I'm gonna have to wait for some of it to dry up just a tad. Oh, darling. I just read that rice is better than salt. Yeah, because it's absorbing the moisture. I know we used to use when I had the store, I had some silver jewelry, and we used to keep it in couscous because it would stop any oxidization. I'm not running upstairs to go get my rice. Sorry. You have to. What I do for you guys, geesh, I'm telling you. It's interesting. So this had granulation on it too. So I wonder if when you put salt on the granulation also, if it reacts different. So it'll be interesting to see. I've used it in place of salt. That makes sense. Sacrifices. Yeah, it looks cool. It's taking the pigment. It's almost doing the reverse of if you were to put salt on watercolor without the granulation, you get more blotches of white. So this is interesting. Instead of it spreading the it normally pushes the pigment out from the salt, whereas this is actually sucking the pigment towards it, wherever the granulation was. So that's interesting. And then where there's just plain watercolor, you can see the white spots where it's pushed it. And where there's granulation, it sucked it in. So you get two different types of a look. Is the water new? What do you mean the water? It's my plain water. Use rice and then you colorful rice. Yes, we're having colorful rice for supper tonight. So the main thing too when using salt is you shouldn't dry it with your hair dryer because it's still reacting to the pigments in the water. So if you dry it too quickly, you're stopping the process of what it's doing. So this could be interesting. So some areas are wetter too, because if you use salt when it's real wet, it has a different look. When it's just got a sheen on it, it has a different look. And when it's damp, it has a different look. So it's distilled water versus filtered water. This is just plain tap water from my tap. You do get another really cool look if you use plain tap water and you add a little bit of alcohol to your water. That makes the paint really spread fast. Oh, we got somebody that's misbehaving. Thank you, Janet. No second chances here. Granulations paints can be more difficult to control. After all, they seem to have a life of exactly. Can you see this reacting more and more and more? It's actually cool. I think your granulation gives it a really neat look with the salt. This would reminds me of coral, the way coral would look. It's cool. Could do a lot with that. You can see the difference in the granulation. I don't know if you can see it in here. Let me bring you in a little bit so you can take a look. This is probably very, very boring for you guys. There. See how granulation is around here? In here. This is where the I didn't have any granular stuff. See how the center dot is the salt, so it's spread it. Where in here, the granulation is kind of sucking the pigment in. And this here, that's just plain granulation on its own. It's just kind of reminds me of the look of suede. Yeah, it's the only way you learn. It's by experimenting and see. Uh, quite in here. It's very, very subtle, but it's pretty. It's quite pretty. This is where there's no granulation, so this pigment was um, went away from the. Whereas in here, see, it hasn't. It sucked it towards it. See how you get the weird marks? So it's a totally opposite reaction of the plain salt technique. So that's neat. Learn something. So you could typically use that in some way to your benefit. Like I said, that would look really cool with corals, or fur would be another thing. This type of thing here. Yeah, I like it. I think it looks cool. I don't know if you've noticed how much it spreads though. The longer you let it sit, the more pattern you'll get. So if you don't dry it, you'll get more of a reaction. Now we could sit here for another half an hour, but I'm not going to let it. We'll dry it now and see what happens. This is just plain watercolor B paper. It's 140 pounds. So it's nothing, it's not a special paper, it's a thin one. But for experimenting on, you know, you just kind of have to use cheaper paper is what I would do if you're not sure what's going to happen. Or if you got failed paintings, use the back of your paintings to experiment on. It's neat, the difference in the salt and then the areas that have the medium, the granulation on it. It's gives you a really neat effect. I think the combination of the two would be great for anything with trees in it, because it gives it a really leafy look. Yeah, this paper is buckling. I didn't tape it down, so it will buckle. But all you have to do is turn it upside down and iron it with an iron in a piece of parchment paper. And then it'll, or you can wet this side and then dry it. Sometimes that'll work. The heavier your paper, the less buckling you'll get. Not bad though. Like, it's a little bit. It's not bad though. So yeah. See the differences, like the right in here. See the difference? That's where the granulation was. Whereas this here is no granulation. So you got, it's more, it's a different look. That's the sky here. That had no granulation. So let's heat that up and I'll take this off. That's gonna tear. Okay. There, so you got your tree. It still feels a little bit rough here. So you could take a credit card and scrape that a little more. It's pretty background. So what can we do with it now? Let's make some, give it some dimension. So we'll add a little bit of dark color here. Some shadow. Some leaves. Branches or dark areas. A little brown with gold. Just a little bit of dry brushing. And then a little bit of blue, very faint. Give it a bit of a shadow on one side. Then blue in there. And my palette knife. If I can get enough paint on it. Okay. Got some Okay, so we can add a little more leafage, probably. Um, so let's see if we put nice dark in here. And then I'm going to try the medium on top. See what it does. Because it isn't wet, so see what it does. See if it I just threw those on because I wanted to see what happened. Let's pick some medium. Could be snow. Could almost make fog. Never know what you're gonna get. What else could this be? Thanks, Gail. Yeah, just playing, seeing what I can do with it. You never know. Could let that dry and then actually go in with marker. It's hard to say what it could be. It's neat though. Or I could come back in a couple days and look at it again and see what I see in it. I like what it does to the ink though. That's kind of cool. It doesn't necessarily have to be realistic. It could be an abstract tree line too. So you can mix the two, realism and abstract. Yeah, you do, Eileen. It does really neat stuff to the ink. I like it. You're welcome. So see, gives it a really neat granule. It just it would, you know what this would really be cool in? If you want a granulation look is your gold paints and stuff. I have a character create face on the left limb. On this limb here? I'm not seeing it. I'll have to use it again on some of my streams. I did it last year with see the knot eye, and then the twig is the nose. the not eye. This one or this one? Or is that the eye you're talking about with a big hairy eyebrow? And then that's the nose? Or is this the guy? I see someone with hairy eyebrows and glasses on smoking a bent cigarette. What? So you could do all kinds of stuff. I love the look of that. That is awesome. It's different. I like that. Kind of gives it a hazy look. And it doesn't bloom. That's the neat thing. It doesn't bloom. I wonder if this would do the same thing with acrylic paint, watered down. I'm gonna try some raw umber and see what it does. I'm gonna try it on the back of this. Just for the thrill of it. Now I need my other brush because I don't want to use watercolor brushes with this. This is just raw umber paint, fluid acrylic. And let's see what happens when we throw some of the granulation on it. If it does anything. Yeah, it does. Wow, really does. A lot. Look at that. It really separates the acrylic. Oh, very interesting. Now that's neat. And I didn't put a whole lot on there. That's cool. Let me get some of that. Oh boy, now I'm on a roll. Where did I put that? Let's try some iridescent gold or bronze fine. Now, remember when I told you that this stuff, when it has a lot of medium or water to it, it kind of gets an aqua look to it. Let's see what it does with this. I know, Eileen, I know. Let's see. Oh, wow. Take the bubbles out. Look at that. Can you see the aqua? Oh, that is cool. Look at that aqua color. Okay, thanks, Vaughn. Do you see that? I don't know if it's showing it enough. I'm gonna darken my colors. Nope, that's not it. That really shows up. Oh, we may be onto something here. Wow. No, Vaughn, this is the a granulation in acrylics. It reacts to the acrylics even more than the watercolor. And that's a beautiful aqua color. I don't know if you can see the true color. That is cool. Yeah, it looks neat. Let's see what it does when it's dry. Because it's separating it, will it rub off? I love that aqua that comes out of that. It's so cool. Yeah, I can try it on the craft paint. Isn't that pretty? So pretty. No, it doesn't come off. That's good. Yeah, craft paint. Some green. No, doesn't do it as much. Not really, Eileen. It must be the binder in it. Nope, doesn't really do anything. Probably because it's not real pigment in the craft paint. Will it blow up alcohol inks? Oh, I don't know. Do you want me to try it? Where did I put it? All right. Okay, I'm going to use this here. No, I probably won't. No, it won't. I'll just put it. I don't think I have any UPO. I don't know if it'll work on this or not. Probably on the shiny side. It separates it. Well, it's like water. It doesn't separate the pigment. It kind of, well, it does a little bit. See? It does a little bit. It's not pretty. It might work nicer on UPO, maybe? Yeah, it's no fun. But yeah, interesting. Very interesting. That was interesting. No, I liked trying all that. I really like that. Wonder why you get the that green turquoise color. That's neat. So if you wanted to do granulation for rocks or stuff like that, or sand on a beach, that would be cool. This would be neat. A smashed frog. But definitely use less water when you're using it. Definitely. All right. What time is it? Yeah. Time for me to go. Now that I am free, I could be on more. I will be doing some more taped and edited videos, and be putting up different things, see what goes, what people are interested. Yep, more me. Um, the the reason why I'm going to do mostly edited and just put up is because I don't want to step on anybody's toes as far as who's streaming when and all that stuff. I'll just take a look and see who's on when. Maybe I'll do an evening stream. I haven't done an evening stream in years. But I'll find out what evening is the less traffic as far as people being on. I know there are a few days a week that there's pretty well no one on. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I will be seeing you guys soon. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see my edited upcoming videos, and ring the bell. And we'll see you on the internet somewhere. So you guys have a great evening, and who's on it? It's 8 or is it Colleen or Kathy's on tonight? And then thanks, Vaughn. So thanks for coming, guys, and we'll see you real soon. Have a good night. See you later.